grew from like 2000 to 2005 to 6. This high yield debt is now the new bubble where companies are borrowing money for high risk investments cheap, courtesy of the Fed's free money falling out of the sky. And this has created a bubble that's going to burst. I know that, I've been telling you, Alex, for years now, we've got a bubble going to burst. We've got demographics only going the wrong direction in more and more countries around the world. Debt levels even higher than they were in 2007 and 8 when the last bubble burst. Everything is set. We just need a trigger. I think this is the trigger, and the markets are ignoring it.
Well, you predicted the 2008 crash. You predicted this with oil, and I'm just going from memory. I first interviewed you a few times over the phone like 4 or 5 years ago. Then you hadn't been on for a few years, started getting you on, I think, 2013, 2014 again. But you did make those predictions accurately. People did roll their eyes. I mean, I respected your view because you've been right so much, but it was hard to believe. Now it's starting to happen. When did you first start predicting oil would go down in 2015?
Oh, we said that back in the Great Depression ahead in 2008. One of the things, Alex, we look at demographic cycles, which we can project accurately. I mean, we know when the average person spends the most money on toilet paper or camping equipment, and they spend the most money overall at age 46, and the most affluent people spend the most money at age 53, which is this year. So the average household peaked in 2007. We predicted that 20 years ago. The most affluent households that are still spending peak this year. So does spending on automobiles. Everybody's saying automobiles are doing better than ever. You watch the next couple years. They're going to go off a cliff. Germany has the steepest decline of any major country in the world, much like Japan in the 90s. We were the only one to see that coming in the late 80s because we look at demographics, but we also look at any credible cycles, and commodity prices are one of the most predictable cycles over time. They peak every 29 to 30 years like a clock. That's what we've been saying since 2008. Commodity prices are peaking. They're going to decline not for a few years, but well into the early 2020s. And that's when we said oil in particular was going to go back to the lows in late 90s, early 2000s, between $10 and $20 a barrel. So yeah, it is crashing, as we said. It will go lower. I think you won't see that $10 to $20 maybe for a few years, but I think you are going to see 32 to 40 this year, and again, maybe within months. And again, it's not a good thing. When oil crashed from 147 to 32 in 2008, a recession followed for the whole next year. So that's what we see. Yes, it's good long term for consumers, but in the short term, it is going to kill a lot of jobs. It's going to trigger debt defaults. High yield bond rates are going to start to spike up. They already have. They've gone from 5 to 7%. The junk bonds for energy and fracking companies have gone from 5.5 to 10% recently. So this is the trigger for the next debt bubble bursting. And so economists don't see this. They think, oh, everything's okay. The Fed will bail everything out. You can't bail everything out, and you can't cure a debt crisis with more debt. And that's what the Fed's trying to do.
Well, I mean, Zimbabwe successfully cured debt with debt, and so did Weimar Germany.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you in history, when you try to cure debt with debt, you end up either in an inflationary blowout and or a deflationary crash. And we see, and we've been saying consistently,
deflationary
leadership and a lot of very smart people who understand the debt crisis is unsustainable. We've been saying, no, this ends in deflation. And all we've seen, Europe's worried about deflation. U.S. is worried about deflation. Commodity prices are collapsing. Older people are deflationary. Young people cost everything to raise. Old people downsize everything. We're deflationary, and debt deleveraging, and it will end up deleveraging. We're going to have to write off a lot of debt, a lot of student loans, subprime auto loans, subprime.
Because it's impossible to prop up the debt. It has to be written off.
Has to be written off ultimately, either through a crash or if the government were smart, they would orchestrate a Chapter 11 reorganization, especially of our private debt. That's what they could do if they don't want to just let a depression happen.
But no one wants to preside over that, and they want to keep gambling till the casino burns down. Now there's smoke in the casino. They can see flames. The smoke detectors are going off, but they just tell us everything's fine.
Yeah, everybody wants it to happen later. Nobody, no central banker, no president, no prime minister anywhere in the world wants to have the next Great Depression. And that's what debt deleveraging is. Every depression in history has followed a major debt bubble. And that depression and that deflation in prices is because we have debt deleveraging. We're destroying money. Financial assets are deleveraging, destroying money. We overproduce in a bubble.
That's right. Stay there. I want to hear about the next shoe to drop. Is China the time bomb?
Hey, sorry I'm running late. I had to stop and get my vitamins for the month.
I got mine in the mail yesterday from DiscountNutritionShop.com, so I'm here, totally on time.
DiscountNutritionShop.com?
Yep, they're a lifesaver in more ways than one. They have all the nutritional supplements you need, the major brands you know, plus you can save up to 10%. Write down this number, 888-908-4548.
Huh?
888-908-4548. Or just go to DiscountNutritionShop.com.
Mom, I can't do my math homework. I just don't get it. I hate math.
I've always tried to be a good mother, but when it came to Jamie's math, I was at a loss. Then a friend told me about Math Made Easy DVDs. Concepts are simplified in an easy way to follow and review, and students can learn at their own pace in the convenience of home. Listen, in the frustration, call Math Made Easy. Call now, 1-800-USA-MATH. That's 1-800-872-6284. Or visit us at mathmadeeasy.com.
The experts are clear. Sunlight, purified water, healthy non-GMO food, and having a good attitude is essential to a healthy immune system. But I go further with Super Nascent Iodine X2 from InfoWarsLife.com. 50% stronger than our original and revolutionary Nascent Iodine formula, coming from a deep earth crystal source that no other supplier has. Most other forms of iodine come from seaweed in areas plagued by Fukushima and other contaminants. Not our iodine. It comes from over 200 million-year-old crystal salt deposits and is tested and proven to be completely pure. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. See the informational videos. Read the information they're compiled. And for a limited time, when you use promo code NOW at checkout, you get an additional 5% off the entire family of InfoWarsLife.com products. Secure your Survival Shield X2 today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
American gardeners and fellow patriots, make the right choice with your money, time, and your family food supply. Choose 100% pure heirloom seeds in the Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com. Why spend more? The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com is only $37.95 and includes 20 varieties of pure, hardy, easy-to-grow heirloom seeds. Yes, only $37.95. That's 70% less than our competitors. You could buy 3 Survival Seed Vaults for less than one of theirs. The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com includes detailed planting and seed-saving instructions and ships same day. Plus, all orders over $49 ship free. MyPatriotSupply.com is American-owned by patriots like you, passionate about freedom and preparedness. Call now, 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Or discover more emergency preparedness items when you order at MyPatriotSupply.com. Choose the original. Choose the Survival Seed Vault at MyPatriotSupply.com.
Managing your business and customers isn't easy, huh? SnapForce customer relationship software may be just what you need. SnapForce CRM is a software solution that helps you manage everything important about your customers, from sales to marketing to service and support. All of your customer information is right there at your fingertips for easy access. It's time to take control of your business in a snap. Get your free trial at snapforce.com. That's SNAPFORCE.com. Snapforce.com.
Hey, Boomer! I learned in school today that 60% of our bodies are made of water. Good thing we have the Berkey system. It's the cleanest, best water ever. Mom says it's because the Berkey's filtration system cleans out the bad stuff and leaves only pure, delicious water. I know, right? You love it too. Yeah, I'm thirsty too. Let's go get some. Get Berkey clean water by calling 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653. Or visit GoBerkey.com.
I hear the train coming, it's rolling around the bend. And
Alex Jones here, back live. I did a satire video, and people in the comments don't seem to understand that, even though it says satire at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Video, Alex Jones retirement announced. And it's a satire video. If you want to see it, I think it's pretty funny. It's causing a whole new conspiracy. It's ridiculous. But that's up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. If you go to harrydent.com/Alex Jones, you can subscribe for free to the newsletter, or you can also read Chapter 10, The China Disaster Ahead, absolutely free there on the website, harrydent.com/Alex Jones. We appreciate him doing that for our listeners. There's also harrydentresearch.com. This is a short segment, Harry. Long segment coming up. I'd like to give the number out if it's okay with you, and let folks ask some questions at 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231 of Mr. Dent. But so you accurately, in your book 2008 or 2007, predicted what happened then. You predicted that in this graph that by 2015 or a little bit before, we'd see oil start plunging. How will that affect the economy? I want to finish up with that. And then other big shoes to drop. Where does all this go? How do people protect themselves? And then you talk about China could be the detonator. Do we see a collapse quickly, or is it slowly, or we just don't know?
Well, you know, Alec, I really do think this oil price fall is the trigger. All it takes a trigger. I mean, the markets have been acting like there's no risk in the world. You got civil wars everywhere all over the Middle East, and Russia and Ukraine, and problems in Africa, and falling commodity prices, all this sort of stuff. The markets are ignoring this. They're just thinking, well, the Fed will just bail us out, or the Fed will just print more money. And so it takes a trigger, something to get the markets to see, oh my gosh, there is risk in the world, and then the antennas go up. So I think China is the last thing to hit and the hardest. China, we don't even know bubbles. We don't even know debt compared to China. China's debt in the last 14 years has grown 9 times as fast as U.S. debt in the 14 years into our bubble peak in debt in 2008. China has moved 220 million people from rural areas to urban areas with absolutely no skills, and they're having them build stuff for nobody. They got 30% vacant condos, 30 to 40% excess capacity in cement, steel, aluminum, all the basic industry. They've got bridges to nowhere, empty malls and office buildings. This is the craziest economy ever, the greatest debt bubble, the greatest overbuilding bubble, and yet clueless economists, and I understate this, clueless economists say that this is the new state-driven model of capitalism. There is no way governments, crony capitalism from the top down can make better decisions than a bottoms-up free market system with some good rules. There's no way, and they never have. Russia proved this, but now everybody thinks China's the new model. China has created, mark my words, the greatest bubble in modern history, and there will not be a soft landing. When they finally go down, it's going to be the biggest real estate collapse, the greatest debt bubble. These 220 million people with no skills in urban areas are going to be trapped with no jobs, and they can't even go back to their farms because they paved them over with empty condos. At least they'll be able to squat in these empty condos. China is going to be the biggest disaster in history, and it's going to prove, finally, to economists who don't know better because they've never had never run a business, never had sex, don't understand consumers, anything. It's going to prove to them that capitalism works better as long as you have some good, simple rules. So I think this is going to be a useful lesson, but it's going to be painful. So I think we start this crisis because these fracking companies go under, and that kills jobs and debt defaults. And then there's another $6 trillion to emerging country companies from U.S. debt and bonds. That's going to default next, and then it just keeps going until we have another housing crisis and another.
Is that why Homeland Security is militarizing police, deploying thousands of armored vehicles, and basically, you know, telling the military prepare for martial law? Is that they think it's going to get out of hand?
Well, you know, if they're smart, they would. I mean, I do fear civil unrest in this country, and I can't even imagine the civil unrest when 220 million people are just basically left on the list. These people are not registered citizens in these cities. They're only registered in their rural areas, and like I said, most of them can't go back there. And if China implodes,
Japan's already collapsing. The West is trying to bankrupt Russia. We can't export the implosion. Won't other countries imploding only make us implode?
Yes, I mean, that's what happens. And that's what happened in the Great Depression. When things started to go down, all countries all put up trade tariffs, and that just hurt world trade worse. Well, what countries are doing today, they're printing money to devalue their currency and make their exports more competitive.
Harry Dent, stay there. I want you to come back and break down how you see this coming together. I mean, your next prediction, the next big shoe to drop, and phone calls straight ahead. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com. Stay with us.
We're on the march. The Empire's on the run.